that C# is actually, a language that depends on statements. And we said that C# statements are actually expressions, as in something like mathematical expression that are terminated by semicolon. That a mathematical expression is a mathematical expression, but once you terminate it with semicolon, it becomes a C# statement. And we say that an expression is actually an operator combined with operand. So we started looking at the operators in our last class. We looked at assignment operator. We say that assignment operators are useful in assigning memory location to values to memory location. So we can see that var A is equals to 5 or var A is equals to 10. And what will happen will be that the computer will create a memory location and call it A, and then it will put the value that we have assigned into that location. Meaning that we could refer to that location by name and then access and use the value that are there. So we also look at arithmetic operators. We look at the plus, minus, these arithmetic operators. So today we'll be moving forward. We will be looking at the comparison operators. So the comparison operators enable us to make comparison. So if you remember when we were looking at when we are trying to look at C# statement with an overview, we said that there is an equal to, which is different from the equal to of assignment. If you remember that, we are going to now look at that today under comparison. What the comparison operator does is that it actually returns the comparison operator returns a true or false for any action. So let's say we have the value, we have a memory location that has value of 5, as we have in. Can you all see the screen properly? Can you see, please, someone can talk. Can you see the screen properly? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Yes.
Okay. I try to make it a bit bigger. So what I'm saying is we have here line 7, we have a value of A equals 5. So we have an assignment statement for assigning a value, and then line 8, we have B equals 7. Now, we will then go and I'm going to borrow an if statement. So, and in this if statement, it's actually taking a comparison operator, which is in this case greater than, just like the mathematical greater than or arithmetic greater than is exactly the same thing. So in this case, we are saying if A is greater than B, then it should do something. So what we are concerned about here is not the entire statement. We are concerned only with this line 10 in this case. So we are saying if A is greater than B, it should print that. But if A is less than B, it should print this. And if A is greater than or equal to A is greater than or equal to B. So I'm going to run this now. So if we run it, what we have here is A is less than B. That's the only thing that's true. So this is A is less than B because, of course, you see that A is 5 and B is 7. Therefore, it is true that A is less than B. So that is, it's only this that is true. If we turn this over and we just change this value to 9, if we change this value to 9 and we rerun the statement, we will then find A is greater than B, which is true now because we changed the value of A, and then A is also greater than or equal to B. So this condition is true, yes, because A is greater than or equal to B. But what I want you to pay attention to are these operators, the operator greater than or equal to, the operator less than, and the operator greater than. Now, let's do something else. So let's say, let's create another variable and call it C, where C is equals to 9. So if you notice this equal to here, this is assignment, yes, we all know that. But then I'm going to now create another instance of another instance. So we say if A is equal to C, if A is equals to C, then say A is equals to C. So here we're going to now say A is equals to equal to C. So in C#, this is one of the things that trip many people when they use language like C#, C++, and a couple of languages that use this syntax. So this is equal to, comparison equal to. So we are comparing A with C, and you will see the result that we will see. So here we see this line as in A is really equals to C, because C is equals to 9 and A is equals to 9. That is the comparison operator. So we also have less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, but you get the idea. The whole idea is that we are able to compare two values, and after comparing the two values, we're able to arrive at a true or false, which will enable us to be able to do something. When we start looking at statement, we are going to look at the three major type of statement. That will be something we'll be doing in the next class, which are, but one of the statements is the branching statement or decision statement. To take decision, you need to compare things and take action based on that. And that is where comparison operator come to its own. And that is the comparison operator. For a few minutes, if anyone has a question before we move to the next type of operator that we're going to be looking at. So that is that about comparison operator. So comparison operator enables you to compare two variables and to take decision based on that. So you have greater than, less than, greater than or equals to, less than or equals to, and equals to. All of these will return a true or false value, and you're able to then do something based on the result of that comparison. The next operator we are going to look at are known as logical operators. Logical operators, what they do is they perform logical operations. So a logical operation is an operation that is either true or false. So and for that we have a type. We're going to be looking at type called Boolean, which deal with that. So mostly the three major logical operators are the AND operator. So the first one is AND. And then the second one, so we have AND, or, and not. But in C#, for AND, we use double ampersand for AND, for logical AND. We'll still talk about bitwise operators soon. And then we use this perpendicular line. That line is actually beside shift on most typewriter for all. And we use the exclamation sign for not. We are going to look at them one by one. So when you use the AND operator, the result you are trying to look at must be both true. So there's something called the truth table. The truth table is when you are comparing two variables, and you are able to say what should be the result of comparing. So if, let's say, var A equals true, and so these are correct values. So we put var A equals true. I can actually say bool. Instead of say var, I can say bool, which is the Boolean value. So A equals true. That will work correctly. So let's use var, because we are going to be talking about type system sometime later. So let's just use the var. Var A equals true, and var B equals false. Now, you can then do something like C equals A and B. These are logical operations that we are doing now. So C equals A and B. What that means is we are saying that, so we can actually do something. Okay, we can do something. We can say, so var C equals A or B. We can then tell the computer to print out what is the value, what is C. So we can say console.writeLine C. Let's see what C will write. What will be the result. normally, if A is true and B is false, the answer here should be false. So we do this, and the answer is actually false. And then if we say, let's create another value and say var D equals true. So this, what we are doing now are known as logical operation. We are performing logical operation. So the first one we are looking at is logical AND. And that is, yeah, so that's logical AND. So now we also say var var E is equals to A and D. Okay. So now, if we say now, let's say we want to see what is in value of what is the value of he, we can do that. So actually, we can say A and B is, and then we can do this. So if we do this, and then we can also go on A and B C dot string. Okay, so this is more like okay, yeah. So what we are doing here, I'm trying to just make the result a bit more explanatory on its own, so I don't have to do the talking that much. So now let's say we say now that A and D is, and then we can then also concatenate that, and then we say E dot to string. So I'm using the operation to string. We are going to be talking about that as well sometime soon. So now we say A and B is true, and A and B is false, and A and D is true. So you see that the only time you get true, for those of us who have done logic, the only time you have true is when the two values are true. If any of the two values are false, then the result will be false. That is what AND is all about. Now the same thing, we can do the same operation now with OR. So to do the same operation with OR, let's go on and create V var G is equal to A or B. Okay, so if we do this.
Quick question.
Yes.
But isn't that short circuiting now, using double AND? You can use one, can you? Instead of using double, right?
Yeah, well, we are going to come to that. That one is called bitwise operation. We are going to be talking about that later. This is logical operation. When you use only one, it's bitwise operation. It will do something different. We are going to talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is, so when you have only one single one like this, it's also AND, but it's known as bitwise AND. It's different from logical AND. We'll talk about what it means when we get there. Okay. So now let's look at, so we are trying to look at all for the two values. So H is equals to A and D. Yeah, let's do that. So if we do this and we come here and then, so we can have this. So this one are horse. Yes, this is O. AO. And then we can have our result as G and this one as H. So if we run this now, we should have 4 results. So you will find that in most cases, those two are all true, because for all to be true, all you need is for one of the operation to be true. Once one of the operation is true, all will be true. But there is something also, so Yeah, let's do that. And the third one is the NOT, the operation NOT. So the NOT, so we can say A is equals to NOT B. So let's do that. We can do something like K is equals to NOT A. So you can do something like this. You're allowed to do something like this. Var, so let's do that because we have not declared this. So var K is equals to NOT A, and var L over M is equals to NOT D. Of course, we can also print the result of that as well, not D. So we can print the results of that as well. So we come over there and just print those two results. So this, what we are doing right now, are known as a logical operation. We are performing logical operation. Of course, you can perform complex logical operations with these operators as well by combining them, not A and B and all of those things that. So we can say K, and then we can say M. If we run this operation now, run, you will see that NOT A is false and NOT D is false. NOT D is false. M is equals to NOT D here. Because D, what is D? D is equals to true. Therefore, NOT D is false. A is equals to true. Therefore, NOT A is false. So let's look at NOT B. Var Y is equals to NOT B, yes. And then we can just come down there and look at it, say console.writeLine NOT B, so Y. So if we do that and we run this, so NOT B is true because B is false. So NOT B is true. I hope you get the gist. So that's the gist on logical operator. The other operator that we want to talk about, which is allied to the question that was asked by one of us a few minutes ago, is the bitwise operator. The bitwise operators. So let's clear this off. So the bitwise operator look like the bitwise operators. So the bitwise operators look like they are actually operators like shift right, shift left, logical and no, bitwise and bitwise or XOR, XOR, which is this. So what they do is, instead of dealing with logic, they deal with the bit element. So you can do something like var A, or let's say int A equals 2, int B equals 4. So if you look at the binary value for 2, it's actually 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. And if we look at the binary value for 4, it's actually 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0 is 100. So what bitwise operator will do is it will set the value to 1 where there is 1, and set the value to, so bitwise AND will set the value to where the two values are 1. It will set it to 1 where the two values are 1. It will set it to 0 where one of the values are 0. But bitwise OR, we set the value. So let's see what's going to happen now. So if we do, we can do something like say int C is equals to A or B. A or B. So if we do this, and then we can do console.writeLine C. So what we are doing now is bitwise operation. So what we are doing now is different from what we did before. See, console.writeLine. Oh, okay. Console.writeLine C. So if we do this, if we run this, we have 6. What is 6? So what we are doing is OR. So if we look at what we are supposed to have, we're supposed to have here, if we do bitwise OR, we will have 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. Why will we have that? Because here the first line of it is 0, the second one is 1, the next one is 1, and that. And if we look at this, if we convert this, we are going to get 6. So this will be 6, which is 0, 0, 1, 0. And then let us AND it as well. So let's say we do AND. So let's say int D equals A and B. So in this case, we are going to have, so if we run this, let's see. D. If we run this, so if we hand the 2, what did we get? We got 0. Why did we get 0? Because 1 and 1, 0 and 0 is 0, 0 and 0, so is 0. Okay, which is 0. Has anyone any question regarding these two? And the last is 0, it will be equal, it will be 1. But if both value are 0, then it will be 0. That's all. It's called the truth table. Take a look at take time to look at the truth table. It will help make the things clearer, especially when you are dealing with the logical operations. Take time to look at the truth table. Just Google truth table, you see it clearly. And then take a look also at a bitwise operation, and then complement, and then also shift right and shift right, shift left. So those are the things. So during our next class, we'll be talking about the C# types. C# is a type language, so we talk about the C# types, and then we'll also be looking at the relationship of those types to objects. Do we have any other questions? Questions? Okay, we will be meeting again on Saturday. Have a great evening. Thank you very much for listening.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.